control, checking in. WW7ATS, KS7UHK. I'm out here too. If you sound good over here in Everett, KS7UHK. QSL, this repeater will be used at the top of the hour for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net for about 1 hour, starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. If anyone needs to use this repeater for a contact, QSY or the phone. So, this is W. Puget Sound. My name is James, WW7N, Whiskey Uniform 7 November. I'll be net control tonight for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. This net meets on 6 repeater, the 08 repeater, for the audio channel for about an hour starting at 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's the West Coast of the United States on Wednesday and Saturday evening. Anyone with an amateur radio license, either issued by the U.S. FCC or the Canadian Department of Industry, is welcome. You can either check in to say hello or join us for an entire net. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio operators who take the airwaves with fast scan NTSC analog video. You can find more information about us on the ever-helpful internet by searching on your favorite search engine for Western Washington Amateur Television Society. During this net, you can see the video we're talking about by looking at the WW7ATS website. Click on streaming. There sometimes is a significant delay with that output. The video out can also be viewed directly on YouTube, but please understand we can't monitor and respond to all comments real time due to the delay. The video is also transmitted on 1.2 gigahertz on the east side here in Bellevue, Washington, in the northwestern corner of the U.S. Okay, checking in tonight via video link. I see KD7QKU, Ron, and I see Jessica, KF7UHK. Lee mentioned he might be here tonight, but he might be late. Let's see, we have also Richard, K7ITX. And I saw Wade, W7ITL. N17, Roger Covington, that's Jim, and myself, WW7N. Dave mentioned to me that he was back safe and sound in the Puget Sound corridor, but that he was pretty tired and he was on different time zones, so he asked if I would run the net tonight. Does anyone else want to run the net tonight? Okay, I'll go ahead and take it then. Let's first of all ask, does anybody else want to either check in to our net just to say hello, see if that push box still works, or if you'd like to join our net. If so, say so now. KJ7, Sierra X-Ray Romeo, KJ7, Sierra X-Ray Romeo, are you listening tonight? Okay, didn't hear anything from Joel and Roy tonight, but if you're listening, Joel, you can jump in any old time there. Let's go to the top. Ron, KD7QKU. I think you got a video for us tonight. Take it away.
This is KD7QKU in Tacoma. Good evening to the rest of the group here. Well, I might have a little bit of video. I talked Joanne into going down by Ruston there to the ferry terminal and the marina and all that. We were going to go for a walk, and I set my camera out, and lo and behold, if I didn't go off and forget it. It seems like, that good intentions. It seems like Joanne always throws a little curve or something like, is the patio door locked? And then, you go look at the patio door to make sure it's locked, and then you go out the door and your camera's sitting in here on the desk, So anyway, but I do have a little video. I'll show it next round. So it was a nice afternoon. We did go down there and walked for about an hour, I suppose. Saw a lot of other people out walking. It was, Chris, I think it was 53 degrees here. It was almost like a spring day. Did we have sunshine? I don't know if we had sunshine or not, but it was high thin clouds or something. And sure, no rain, that was for sure. So I guess for now I'll just turn it back to net. So this is KD7QKU back to the net there at W7N.
Okay, Ron, thank you very much for that. Just as a reminder, if you're on the Cougar Mountain audio channel, anybody that joins on Echo Link will not be able to hear you. So you might want to double check your PL tones, Ron, because it sounded like you may be on the Cougar Mountain audio channel. I couldn't tell. Rich, or maybe my the Cougar Mountain identifier blew away my audio. I was saying that if you're on the Cougar Mountain audio, the people on Echo Link will not be able to hear you. And Ron sounded like he had that tone of being on the Cougar Mountain audio channel, but I couldn't tell. I didn't do a PL analysis. So anyway, you're up next if you want to take the microphone. KF7UHK, this is WW7ATS.
All right, James, and thank you for taking the net. You do such a great job, and you're a natural. I'm telling you, you should come on the KFC and I can interview you. So, about something other than radio. Let's see. I'm noticing here on my computer, I didn't notice before, usually I ask Google what the temperature is outside, and so I usually look like I'm talking to someone who actually is no one here except for my Google at home. It's 54 degrees up here in Everett, and it was a beautiful day. I didn't do anything really significantly. Now my Google at home is saying it doesn't understand because it heard me call its name. So I'm waiting for a package from Amazon. I ordered a really nice one of these Eco Tank printers. It's about $300, and it comes with like a year's supply of ink that comes with it, as opposed to cartridges. It comes with bottles of ink that you feed it. And it's like that's a nice way to go, because little cartridges, that's always a showstopper when it comes to refilling your computer printer with ink. It's like those cartridges just eat you alive, I'm telling you. And usually only one color that messes up, and you gotta replace them all to make it work right. So there's my rant on that. Look at that. Yeah, there you go. Cartridges. I got a bunch of those somewhere. James is showing, for those who are just listening, James is showing some cartridges, it looks like. So I don't have anything else to say. I made a really nice stew last night for dinner, and otherwise, that's it for me. KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, Jessica, thank you very much for that. This is James WW7ATS, Net Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Well, let's see. I think next on our list of who's here now is Richard, K7ITX. Take it away, Richard.
Okay, well, I'm trying Cougar Mountain just for the fun of it. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, and I'll try to not talk over the courtesy tone. Hopefully I left enough time before after I keyed up, and then plus I think we couldn't hear you, James, because you and Ron were doubling, and the double on Cougar Mountain, it's really weird. At least if that's what was going on, I think that's what was going on, and if it was a double, you guys, your voices just, or your transmission just totally cancel each other out, and it's just pure silence. So, because I did see Ron talking about when you would have been trying to turn it over to Jessica. We couldn't see your lips, James, for whatever reason. You were off camera or whatever, but anyway, this is a lot of fun, for sure, and Wade, thanks for doing the switch on Ron. I got my hands full with Zoom, not that I can't do it, but it's nice when you're available to do the switch, because Ron's camera is so exquisite, and actually Jessica, your lighting has improved a lot, so we get to see your pretty face a lot better, so thanks for doing that. Alright, so we'll move right along with that. WW7ATS, K7ITX, back to Net Control.
Okay, Richard, when it's my turn, I'm going to propose an experiment. But first, let's go to Wade, W7ITL. Take it away, Wade. This is W7ITL. Just hanging in there tonight. I'm a little tired, so probably not going to say too much now. I might be just listening, maybe just kind of listen to you guys, and yeah. So yeah, it's great that James is doing the Mets. Yeah, it'll be interesting to have Dave come back on it, because James has been doing it for so long. hearing his voice. So, but yeah, so Ron was picture pushing good. So yeah, keep that up. And I did notice the other delay on your video was really choppy, so maybe your internet connection might be bogging down a little bit. But I'll turn it back to Matt. Thanks, WW7ATS. W7ATL raid. Well, something tells me on call had something to do with this. You'll have to tell us the next time if that's what's going on, or was it a time zone change? Okay, so anyway, yeah, Ron recorded a video, and I believe a neighbor of mine said that he was up to 61 degrees today. But I didn't notice that myself. I just noticed it was all of a sudden it was very warm, and it's weird, after being frozen so long, it was warm. We had a very definite odor in the neighborhood, almost like a fresh mown grass odor, but no fresh mown grass. So I don't know where that comes from. Not quite compost, not quite unpleasant anyway. It was just a very warm, humid smell, kind of like temperate jungle smell outside my front door. So I have Ron, stand by, see if you want to go for this. I'm going to count to 10, and you join me on Cougar Mountain at 5 and start counting 2, and then Richard and Jessica and Ray can listen and see what happens. You want to go for this? Okay, let's start. 1, 6, 7, 8,
12.
Okay, Richard, do you want to tell us what you heard?
I did hear a battle between the two of you. It was kind of back and forth, and at one point there was definitely the camp where the repeaters just gave up and just didn't have anybody for a while. But in the beginning, you were overwhelming Ron, and then Ron overwhelmed you, and then the repeater just gave up. So that's interesting. That was a very good experiment. Thank you. K7ITX.
Oh yeah. And my mother was concerned about my phone freaking when on an Air Force base when I was 10, 11 years old, when I discovered all the different things you could do with a telephone line. Anyway, thank you very much. Well, that was interesting too. I knew there was a courtesy tone on that. Thank you very much, Ron. Let's see, I also got out for a walk today, and it was odd. I did it in shorts and a sweatshirt, and gosh, only a week ago, like a week and a half ago, it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside. This is like living in Idaho, isn't it? Well, anyway, with that, I'm going to say, let's see, we're almost at 15 minutes after the hour, so let me ask if anybody else wants to check in to our net on either audio channel, either Cougar Mountain or Tiger Mountain. If you would like to say hello to us or maybe join the net, say so now.
This is Kilo Juliet 7 Sierra X-Ray Romeo Joel.
Joel, 57, Sierra X-Ray Romeo. It is so good to hear your voice again. Go ahead and take the microphone.
I don't have a whole lot going on here. Just did a Zoom session earlier with the local Aries group, and now I'm playing around trying to figure out WinLink and setting that up with the HF radio and having some interesting time with that, but I think I got it all figured out. As far as kind of your guys' group, I did do a survey on Google Earth, a terrain survey, looking at between here and Cougar, and it'd be a stretch. There's a bit of a hill between me and Cougar, not far from here, but I think it might affect things if I was trying to transmit. I think the best thing is if if I was able to get a repeater in Tacoma, that'd be pretty cool, and I'd be more apt to throw down some money on equipment to send out a TV picture, and probably have better luck with that. Other than that, got a new antenna for HF, super antenna, vertical, so that's out in the yard, and looking forward to playing around with that, and I don't know what's going on. I'll send it back to that. KJ7, SXR.
Well, I got a couple quick questions for you. The Aries meeting tonight, was it a general open meeting, or was it a monthly meeting? What kind of meeting was it?
No, I was just the local Roy area group. A few of us get together on Zoom, and they're kind of walking me through how WinLink works and kind of the overview of the Aries, command structure. And I'm starting to kind of dive into the FEMA training courses and learning how the whole command structure things work, so I can get my emergency workers card. But as more of a kind of reg two between a few of us guys, and they were walking me through some of the software, so nothing official.
Well, thank you very much. I was wondering if I had missed something. Also, it's interesting. I'm doing a bunch of ICS courses right now, so I have your call sign and your address. I'll look up your email on QRZ, and I might be communicating with you on that later. I don't know how much general interest there is in the group on that, but yeah, I noticed there's one site, there's a FEMA ID now, but then it's a totally different site to do the ICS courses, so that's a little different than the last time I did them. So anyway, thank you very much. Will you be staying with us for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I'll hang out and listen, and I got the stream up on the website, so I'll hang around.
KJ7 Sierra X-Ray Romeo. This is Whiskey Uniform 7 November WW7N with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Joel, great to have you with us. Let's go back to the top. Ron, KB7QKU, take it away.
What about Jim, M7QO?
Mistake, I passed right over M7QO out in Covington. How could I do that? Jim, take it away.
7QO. Thank you, Jim. Well, good evening, everyone. Not a whole lot going on around here. Just looking at Dick's dog there, Pippa. Let's see, I'm showing 46 degrees at the house. It was a pretty nice day here, and as the sun began to go down, it got quite foggy here. And it's still foggy now, but not quite as bad as it was a couple of hours ago. Let's see, my only comments on what we have so far regarding Jessica. Yeah, I looked at those EcoTank printers, and I don't know, I was a little bit confounded about them. My old printer decided it was going to retire several months ago, maybe 6 months ago. So I replaced it with another Hewlett-Packard. Works, so I don't know, maybe next time give us an update in a year or so if you remember, Jessica, and maybe I will follow your lead next time this printer decides to throw in the towel. Let's see. I guess that's it for this go-around. WU7N and 7QO.
N7QO, WU7N, and Ron, thank you very much for pointing that out to me. Didn't want to skip anybody over, but now I think we're at the top. KB7QKU, take it away. Do you have a video for us?
This is KD7QKU. All right, yeah, let me plug it in. put inside. So right now he just has a pillow and a pad and a blanket. So I think he wants to sell them for about $1,200 a piece. If anybody wants to buy one. I see it. It's still going. Hang on a second. So anyway, he just put a cross on it. This one has a black cross on it, and he was asking me whether I like the black cross or the natural cross. And he makes them out of pine, and I think he's got about 12 of them made, so he's going to start seeing if he can sell them. I believe there's one with the white cross on it. So anyway, he makes nice cabinets, and he builds beautiful stuff. So what you can do is you can buy one ahead of time, and you can set it up in your house, and you can put shelves in it. You can take the doors off, and you can put shelves in it, and you can use it, you know, for anything you want to. And then when the day comes when you need it, you put it to good use. So anyway, that's my video. So back to that KD7QKU.
WW7ATS, Ron. This is WW7N, James. So that looks like some impressive cabinetry work there. So let's go next to KS7UHK. Jessica, take it away.
Very nice. Yeah, no, fun fact. I was thinking once as a kid, I was thinking I should make something like that. Install some speakers and a nice little chair, have it vertical so you could go in there and hide out some people and just listen to music in stereo, and maybe we'll fan a little reading light. So that's pretty cool. I like do-it-yourself things. So I watched the movie 2010 again for probably the umpteenth time. I've seen it many times. It came out in 1984. After it's a sequel to 2001 that came out in 1968, and in it they show this spaceship Discovery. That's the one with the HAL 9000, and they put a label at the bottom that says Lagrange Point, which was somewhere between Jupiter and Europa. So I had to look up Lagrange Point and see what that means on Wikipedia, and it happens to be like L2 is where this James Webb telescope is going to. It's this equilibrium spot that the two forces of the celestial bodies won't pull it out. It'll kind of keep it in this spot. So way back in 1984, they did their science well, and it just baffles me how well they did to put that in there, that they knew what Lagrange Point was back in 1984. Very, very cool. So when they talk about James Webb going to the L2 point about 1 million miles out from Earth, it's because it's kind of equilibrium to being pulled either to the sun or to the moon or to the Earth. It's pretty cool. So that's what I got for now, and we'll talk about more things later. KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, Jessica. This is WW7N, James. Thank you very much for that. You know, I need to go watch that movie too. Let's see. Next on the list, I believe, is Richard, K7ITX. Take it away, Richard.
Let's see here. Where do I start? Well, I will start with the thought that if we see if we see Lee in Port Angeles show up all of a sudden, we're going to want to switch over to Tiger Mountain. I think a number of us are on Cougar Mountain right now. So anyway, and my video, I've got a bum cable, and so, I don't know what the heck. So anyway, Ron, you did, give me a smile in your video there. and some blankets, and not what normally would be in there. So, but you never know. And then plus the fact that I think he said he's got 12 of them already built. Woo! So, I mean, that's enough for the whole family, isn't it? I mean, my goodness. So that was a great video. That's all I can say. So thank you very much for that. That was very worth it. And I guess I'll have to keep your brother-in-law in mind for the future. Well, I hope I outlive him, but you never know, you know. So I'll be sure Debbie knows about your brother-in-law just in case something comes up. So, and then Joel, I'm hoping your email is current on QRZ, because I'm definitely going to send you an email in the next day or two. So looking forward to communicating with you, and we're really, or at least I am, and I'm sure the group is really happy that you're back for a second try. That always moves you up a notch in the pecking order, just like any net. So good for you. So, and golly, oh, and Jessica on the Webb telescope. Yeah, no, that's something I wasn't quite sure about, the equilibrium between the Earth's gravity and the sun's gravity, which makes total sense. And so thank you for that valuable information. So now I don't have to worry about the telescope getting sucked into the sun and burning up alive. So there you go. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, I forgot to thank you, James, for running the net tonight. You do a fantastic job. So with that, WW7ATS, back to net control.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. That was Richard K7ITX. This is net control, WU7N. So it's a Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And it looks like WW7ITL is still hanging in there. So you want to say hi,
W7ITL, and I wanted to welcome Joel to the net. I didn't write your call sign down, but I will write it down after you talk next. Make a few comments here, and then I'll get off there because I am just tired. I'll be real short. I am tired because I've been working late. You know, in that security realm, there's things that happen. So can't really go into detail on things that I'm doing. But yeah, I really like Ron's video caskets. You know, it's never too early to get your casket ready, so you're ready to go when the time comes. And that's a good selling point. You can use your casket for shelving. Jessica, I watched both movies, 2001 and 2010, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Those are great movies. I will always kind of revisit those movies. They're awesome. The Legrand point, I did not know about that, and it's awesome that Arthur C. Clarke had forethought about the Legrand point, and or maybe he checked with the scientists about that, and that the James Webb Telescope is going to be using that. So, and then Jessica, a final thought, and then just to James' comment about the inkjet. So the eco tanks, I've never had one. I've been a firm believer in not doing inkjet printers, and I haven't had an inkjet printer since the 90s. I've been using, I'm going to break for a second. Laser printers since the late 90s, and they're much more reliable, and you don't have to worry about the ink drying up, and they're much cheaper to operate. And if you're just printing black and white, they look a lot better. That's just my opinion, though. All right, well, that's it. W7ITL, back to net. Thanks for doing that, James.
ITL Wave. This is WU7N Net Control with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Thank you, Wade. Let's go next to Jim out in Covington. November 7, Quebec Officer. Take it away.
10-7 Kilo. Thank you, Jim. Well, that's interesting. Ron, caskets. I know that caskets are really expensive, and you can really spend a lot above and beyond on caskets. It sounds like capitalizing on the pandemic might be a good thing to do right now. That's a good, not to be, but that's capitalism. That's still find a need and fill it, and that takes my brain in a different direction. But anyway, I think that's pretty cool. And Jim, sleep in the casket at night, that sounds like the theme of a movie. I've seen a number like that, and I can see how if you maybe had a party going on at the house, you can maybe get some fangs or something and maybe surprise some people after they've had a few drinks. That could be quite entertaining. I don't know, just a thought, my evil mind. Just ask my wife about that. Anyway, back to you, Jim, and 7QO.
WW7ATS, Jim, I can tell you've been in the aviation business your whole life. This is James, WW7ATS. Well, the claim printer, just stay in touch with you on your report on that. I just ended up with a little printer collection here. It was just a combination of some elder pair cleanouts as well as some things people gave me. But I find I'm printing less and less here at home. And so I've got a Packard printer that I use, also a scanner and a fax machine, and that's my main machine that I use. But my goodness, I think I've just in the last few years replaced the black ink one time. One of the famous Hewlett Packard printers is deemed responsible for that lady. I don't remember her name, but she was the CEO. Was it of HP? Or was I don't remember the company, but anyway, they're the famous brick printers where the entire printer turned into a giant brick, and there was a reset, and it was kind of like how big of a gambler do you think you are, because the reset would either turn it back into a printer or just completely wreck it, so I won't even take the reset. And guess which one I got? So if you need printer parts, let me know, because I don't think I've gotten rid of that thing yet. Number 5, I'm not sure. The disaster almost struck. I had a guard on a pair of slip off. Unfortunately, it was in the back of my head, but you can't tell because I covered it up with some other hair. But it's going to be a few weeks before that grows back, and then I get a recovery from that one. I think the coffin idea is fantastic, especially if you can sell it as like an ancillary set of shelves or something. I can think of many other places you could market this. Can you imagine like maybe an exclusive motorcycle club where the clubhouse, once you get to a certain level, you get your very own coffin and you use that as like a locker, right? You could use that as a locker and make it obviously be a coffin. And you have your donor card, a copy of your donor card right on the inside of the locker or something. Anyway, I did notice your microphone cord is still tangled. I was wondering if you ever set up a camera or something who's twisting the microphone cord. I'm very suspicious your cat is involved somehow, just because they usually are. Okay, with that, let's go on next. Joel, KJ7SXR, are you still out there?
Yep, still here. Yeah, Ron, that was a cool video with the caskets. That's definitely an interesting idea. I tinker and woodworking a little bit, and never really thought about trying to make a casket. It sounds like he's poised to make some extra money with the pandemic going on. Yeah, it was good having a phone call with you the other day, a good conversation, and tried to find some info on that guy Jim, said was in Rochester. I didn't have any luck. I dug around on the FCC's database and didn't find anything either, so we'll see if anything can come of that. And yeah, Jessica, that movie 2010, that's one of my favorite movies. It's
a good year for movies, I guess. 1984, I think that was the same year the Philadelphia Experiment came out as well, and that's another one of my favorite 80s movies, along with War Games, of course. That's and yeah, so that's about it. I'll send it back to that KJ7 SXR.
7 Sierra X-Ray Romeo, Joel out in Roy. Thank you very much for that. So I'm going to pause here for a second and ask if there's anybody that would like to check to see if the push-to-talk button still works. Just to say hi to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. If you got a push-to-talk button and would like us to transmit, you want to say hello, check in and check out, or join on that, do so now. N7CS. N7CS, Bert, glad to have you with us. Are you going to be joining us for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I'll just be audio only tonight, but yeah, I can join.
Okay, well let me pick you up after Ron and Jessica, if that's okay with you.
That'll work.
Okay, is there anybody else that wants to say hi to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society? Okay, can we get that again? We got an ID that went right over the top of you there. Try again. Alpha Golf 7, Charlie Dixon, Lloyd in Tacoma. Gonna be IO. Lloyd in Tacoma. It could be my receiver here, but you're just a little bit rushy. Could you repeat that repeat that call sign, please? Sure, I will. Alpha Golf 7, Charlie Dixon. Is there any better? I took the mic away from my mic. Wow. Golf 7 Charlie X-Ray in Tacoma. Yes, I can hear you quite well now. Do you want to say anything to that tonight if you're in and out? I don't know what I'll say. I'm not familiar with you guys too much. Only copy you once in a great while. So we're going to be back at you. 7-3, Alpha Golf 7 Charlie X-Ray here. Lloyd, thank you very much for saying hello tonight. Is there anyone else who'd like to say hello tonight to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society? Okay, let's go take it to the top. Ron, KD7QKU, take it away, Ron.
Thank you very much, James. KD7QKU here. When I was just looking in my telephone contacts here, and Joel, I found his call sign. His name is Jim, Nodell, and his call sign is WB7BHN. WB7BHN. And it doesn't look like I have his phone number, but I have his email. That's strange. Okay. So anyway, yeah. Well, anyway, on my brother-in-law's coffin making, I suppose if you had a preference of color or something, he'd be happy to work that out with you. If you wanted a red one or green one or blue one or pink one or whatever you want. I think right now he's just doing them all natural. He's using pine. Not sure why he chose pine, but he did. So anyway, what else can I say? Yeah, I had a conversation. I gave Joel a call and we had a fairly nice conversation. I don't remember exactly what all I told him, but I tried to kind of bring him up to date on what we were about. I told him we were kind of show and tell group. So anyway, I hope to get some more video today. Gee, Lee used to be the one that had all the video. He was always showing this video up there. I guess I'm going to have to give him a call and tell him to start taking more pictures. He always had interesting things to show us from Port Angeles down there at the yacht base and the ships that come in and out. Let's see something. I had a thought, but now I completely forgot where I was going to go with that. Well, anyway, that's it, I guess. I was thinking about Lee. Dave. Dave has, I think, one of those printers. He bought a new printer that has a reservoir where you put in the ink. And maybe next time you can ask him about it. He can tell you how he likes it. All right, that's enough for me. Back to net, KD7QKU.
Jessica, Hotel Kilo. Take on, Jessica. Kilo Foxtrot 7, Nina from Hotel Kilo. Pinewood Box. I think that's your classic for I think it's one of those old things. You get the Pinewood Box. Now, my mom had a cedar chest in one of our spare rooms that she kept all blankets that we never actually used, I don't think, but it was always stuffed with something that she piled with her sewing stuff on top of it, so we never really looked inside. It really smelled good when you could open it up and stick your nose in it and smell that cedar from the cedar chest. Wow. Oh my goodness, it just had that wonderful smell. And I think it was to help ward off things like moths. I think it was the classic thing that moths didn't like cedar. Let's see, good feedback on the printer thing. Yeah, I'm not going to be using it for anything going to the public. It's just going to be for things like, if we decide to go camping or something, it's going to have our own itinerary and that kind of thing on it. So that's what we're using it for. Telephone tricks. Someone mentioned telephone tricks. And when I lived on Mercer Island for a short while before I moved out of my parents' house, they moved there in my later years of high school. A friend of mine would go down to the local GTE outlet. It wasn't a store, it was a place that had the, people who had fixed telephones. And he would read their garbage cans. When I turned 18, I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I would have been arrested where he was younger than me. And he brought home this list of telephone numbers that you could use. One of them was the 1,000 cycle number. And you dial this number that had a Mercer Island prefix to it, and it would give off a 1,000 cycle test signal, and that was very cool. And then there was also the silent number. You'd dial it up and it'd be extremely silent, so it was probably for seeing if you had static on the line or something like that. It was very cool. That's these telephone numbers. And he also always brought me the coiled cords and handsets that we put together and do things with. Just fun stuff to play with. Let's see, I also looked up, and yes, the ISS images are not coming out after January 31st. Hopefully we'll start that up again. But someone asked that a few minutes ago, and I didn't really know until I went and looked it up. But yeah, it was just for a short time between about Christmas and January 31st. So, but like I said, I can't wait till it happens again, because it's extremely fun to get pictures off the ISS from my little spot here in Everett. This is KF7. You okay? 7UHK, Jessica, this is WW7N for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Well, Lee, N7CS joined us, so let's give the microphone to Bert. You said over to N7CS or to Lee? My mistake, Lee's not with us tonight. I said N7CS and I meant to say Bert. I misread, sorry about that. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I'm just audio only tonight, just pretty tired tonight, so I've been listening to the net the whole time, though. So, Joel, good to hear you again. Welcome to the net again. So it's always good to see people come back. I'll say that when Ron was talking on the other repeater, he was coming in great over YouTube, so that was really good. I could hear his audio on YouTube really well. Jessica, talking about that telephone, like list of telephone numbers that did all kind of cool stuff. Yeah, back when I was in Houston, I remember I got a list of different unique things like that. And one of the ones, my favorite was a telephone number you could call that would actually read back your number to you. And this was before like caller ID was out, so it was like the only place where you could ever try to figure out, like, if you were at somebody else's house and you needed to find out what their phone number was and it wasn't listed anywhere, you would actually like dial that number and it would read back the phone to you. And one of my cruises I had a cruise in the Royal Caribbean in November. It ended up getting canceled. I was kind of surprised because that one's so far out, but they're changing the itinerary up and it didn't work anymore. But anyway, this is Bert in Marysville, N7. N7CS in Marysville, thank you very much. Just to follow on your transmission got stepped on by... Sorry, I think you said the tail end got stepped on. Sorry, I was just saying N7CS in Marysville. Back to that. 5 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, going through. Oh, okay, not that I've ever had problems before, but I'm kind of surprised. I got a pretty directional signal about Safety Tiger tonight, so if I drop again, please let me know. Sorry about that, guys. Well, after that interruption of the net, let me ask, does anybody else want to join the Western Washington Amateur Television Society? Maybe just check in, say hello, so come now. Calling for Wade at W7ATS. Did you want to take the microphone next?
Just let me switch in my video. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't prepared. I thought Richard was going to go next. Maybe he's off there. Can you switch back to the Grand Stream? There we go. Yeah, so I'll just make a few comments. I'm starting to wear out again. So, let's see. Phone phreaking, I think we were talking about our phone, special secret phone numbers. That's interesting. I knew about the callback number one. I used that a lot when I used to work for GTE. They used it for making sure when you punch down the telephone, you got the right port. So you'd call the number just to make sure. Yeah, and I worked at the GT Phone Mart. I don't know if that's what the place where they went dumpster diving. I worked there for a while. But yeah, I didn't know about the 1,000 kilo or K test signal, and I didn't know about the silent number. So yeah, I wonder if those numbers still are up and running. And then ISS pictures. Not transmitting. I think you were saying this January 31st, but I think it might have been December 31st what you were talking about there, Jessica. But yeah, I'm going to pause for a second. Go back to the comment thread thing that we're talking about tonight. So yeah, I enjoyed the printers back in the 90s. I thought they were kind of cool. I was a kid. I used to like watching the printer go back and forth with the little head. And I do like the quality of the color, but it's so expensive to print color pictures. But it is what it is. But it's definitely not economy if you're going to be printing stuff day in, day out. And then one last note about old technology. When I'm still using my fax machine. I used it the other day, so there you go. I'm using old tech, and it worked. I don't have a regular phone line, but I have one of those SIP phone lines. I just wanted to see if it would work. And my doctor had this change form that I wanted to change my prescription info. And all I could do was over the fax. So I tested it, and it worked. So there you go. There's a modern reason to have to keep a fax machine around, just to change your prescriptions. This is W7ATS. Back to net.
I'm not getting through. Okay, so I am getting through. Okay, alright, thumbs up there. Alright, so let's go on. Let's see, next on the list, K7, Sierra X-Ray Romeo. Joel, take it away.
KJ7 SXR here. Yeah, kind of running out of things to talk about. Sitting here, still playing around with WinLink and messing around with various settings and seeing what I can do with this and trying to get that figured out and listening to the net. And it's been good joining you guys. And yeah, I got this on my calendar as a regular net to check into. So I'll be checking in again in the future. And send it back to net control. KJ7 SXR. hear you, James, there for a minute. I don't know. Is it your mic button that you're not holding down or something?
I do not know at this point. Let's go ahead and see if we can get Jim. N7 Kilo, take it away.
N7 Kilo, thank you, Jim. Yeah, we didn't hear the first part of whatever it was you said there. You dropped out maybe once or twice before too, but just a little bit. But you sounded good this last time, so I don't know what to make of it. But it's okay. We can see you, and we can see that your lips are moving, so we know you're trying to say something. It's really, this is an advantage having video as well, I think. About printers a little bit. Yeah, I've had a few myself too over the years. Starting with a dot matrix way back when, I may have had a couple of them. I never did have a laser printer. Because at least way back when they only did black and white. I don't know if they do color now, but I don't. I stuck with inkjet printers. One thing I've got, and I've got it around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it since before I moved to Seattle. I had this little printer that was pretty cool. It was about like a 2x4 and maybe about 12 or 13 inches long, and you could print an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper in it. You had to single feed it, but you could carry it around in a briefcase or something, and it was really kind of handy. They probably don't even have ink cartridges for that thing anymore. Reset. Wonder where that is. But anyway, that was really cool. And now, yeah, it's at least the paper has come down. I buy these reams of paper. I'm looking at one here. It's 800 sheets in a pack from Costco, and the paper's fairly inexpensive, so if you can manage the ink, I guess it works okay. No inkjet quality, but it's okay. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO.
Okay, looks like we got about 5 more minutes to go for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. And so anyway, let me ask one more time. Open the microphone up to anybody who wants to check in and check out. Say hi to the net. If so, come now. Okay, net station heard. You know, let me ask the net here one final question. We can go a quick go around, see if anybody else did this. But all the different ways to try and hook a tape recorder up to a phone line. Did you do that when you were a kid, to see if you could get the tape recorder to come on when the phone was off the hook? And I remember I was somewhat restricted. I only had access to 2 different kind of reel-to-reel tape recorders. One used tubes, and the other one just 8 batteries. And they were little short things, little tiny reels. And I'll have to show next net one of those because it's quite an antique now. But trying to see if you could get that. And of course, the one with the tube, you would go off hook and it would start, but it would take so long for the tube to warm up, you wouldn't get anything recorded. I remember that. But the other one, you could go off hook, but then it wouldn't last very long because the tiny reels on that little transistor tape recorder just wouldn't hang in there for very long. So anyway, that's what I had to work with when I was a kid. So anyway, we got a couple of minutes left, so let's go take it all the way to the top. Ron, you had the video tonight, so I'll give you the last couple of minutes of the net. Take it away.
KD7QKU here. So I don't know if you heard, well, you wouldn't have heard my cat, I don't think. My cat just woke up a few minutes ago, and I guess she thought everyone had left because she was walking around going, meow, meow. And I have to whistle for her, and then finally she comes in and sees me, and she was happy. Then she wanted food, so I had to go out the kitchen and give her some food, so she's a happy camper now. My wife went off shopping this evening. It's a nice thing about over here, sister-in-law and niece came and picked her up, and they were going to go look at something, so it's a lot nicer than when we lived in Bellevue, that's for sure. When we were over, we watched this, we saw the football game, I guess, over at brother-in-law's this last weekend. When we came home, it was really, really foggy here. Oh my golly, when I got off the exit Richard off Highway 16 to Pearl Street, I couldn't even see the road. I'm telling you, it was terrible. And then we went up Pearl Street, and about where we got up to Safeways up there, it cleared up. And at our house, there was no fog at all. But I'm telling you, the fog was really, really thick. It was tough to see the road. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. So back to that KD7QKU.
Well, yeah, foggy weather, flying in out to the coast, certainly familiar with that. Well, just a couple minutes left here, and so let me open it up one more time to see if anybody has anything for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society before we close the net up. Does anybody have anything at all for us tonight?
RTX. K7ITX, control. Go ahead. Okay, well, thank you. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say hi to Lloyd. Lloyd down in Tacoma. I've had lunch with him 2 or 3 times, and plus, he's a regular PSRG. I think he might hold a record for checking into PSRG, if you want to know the truth. And he's famous for I.O. Strictly, always an I.O. And for a while there, I think, and Jessica knows who I'm talking about, he would make it a point to be the first one to check in quite often. So, Lloyd, if you're still listening, yeah, I miss hearing and seeing you. Maybe someday we'll be able to hook up for lunch with some group here or there. But anyway, it was fun to have you say hi to us tonight. Thanks a lot, Lloyd. So with that, WW7 and K7ITX, back to net control.
Richard, K7ITX, this is WW7ATS. And I'd like to thank the owners and operators of this repeater for giving us the use of this repeater for the audio channel. And I'd like to thank all the amateur radio operators out there who give us an hour slot on Wednesday starting at 8 p.m. and an hour slot on Saturday, also at 8 p.m. That is when this net. You're welcome to join and watch us on the internet. Click in and say hi or join the net. So for now, this is James, WW7N. Good evening to all.
Alpha Golf 77, it's your Lloyd in Tacoma. Your company before QSY did TSRT. Thank you for the shout out. For that sounds good. I just got over COVID. I'm finally feeling human again. So I'll be happy to go out and visit with anybody. Even if you want to there sometime, we'll get back at you. I didn't catch your call. You said it too fast for me. 7 Alpha Golf 7 Charlie, that's clear. I'm going to be QSY in about 1 minute.
Lloyd, AG7 Charlie X-ray. My call for net control, if that's what you're asking, was WW7N Whiskey Uniform 7 November. Richard, who said identified you, is K7 India Tango X-ray, ITX.
Sure, thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, I'm on the QSY, guys, thank you.
WW7 with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Network.